Hey everyone! So today we're going to be talking about makeup brushes, but more specifically Morphe brushes, because oh my goodness, I could not survive without Morphe brushes. I don't know how I've been doing makeup all these years without Morphe. I just recently discovered Morphe within the last, oh my gosh, maybe month and a half, and now it is my everyday routine. I barely touch any of my other brushes. I have so fallen in love. I'm totally obsessed, like over the top, you have no idea. These are absolute must-have brushes. At first, I'm going to show you what my crazy brush collection looks like on a day-to-day basis. So this is my Cosmo Cube, and it's filled with bling, and then this is all of my brushes. But I am going to pull out all of the Morphe ones because a lot of these ones I don't even use anymore. Morphe has just totally taken over for all of them. So we're only going to cover Morphe, but I wanted to show you because, I mean, this is still pretty fabulous. Fabulous! So I just realized that the order of brushes that I have are completely out of order. I have written them all down on like the codes, what they're called and everything, so I could tell you guys precisely what each one is, which I still can, but I did not actually organize them by what you use for your face, for foundation and blushes, and then what you use for your eyes. So what I'm going to do is still run through them, because I obviously know just what to grab while I'm doing my makeup. I don't know the codes and the names of it, so I'm gonna have to look down to let you guys know what each one is, and then I'll tell you what it's for and if it's like an absolute must-have. And I'm going to create a PDF document that will be all categorized, so it's going to be way more user-friendly. And then once that's done, I will link it below and it will be downloadable and it'll just make your lives much easier. But in the meantime, if you want to grab a pen and paper or have something handy to jot it down in case you need some new brushes, or you just, every girl needs new brushes. Some of these, like I said, you absolutely do need. So let's get going. Again, this is the Morphe collection. And the first one that I'm going to start with is one of my can't live withouts. It is the Morphe E20, and it is an oval detail buffer. So it looks like this. And let me tell you, when you are doing your eye concealer, I don't know how I've ever done concealer without this brush. I used to use typical concealer brushes that were just like those little flat ones that you get at the drugstore. This one, it just goes so perfectly in your crease, and then when you're dabbing it out, I don't really want to do it over my eyes right now because I've got so much glitter on, but when you're dabbing it, all the concealer, it goes so smoothly right across your lid, and then when you're going under your eye, I mean, it is just perfect. It is synthetic fibers, so if you go a little bit too heavy on your concealer, it will pick it up, but at the same time, while you're dabbing it and doing strokes and moving it around, it moves it so smoothly, and it's a flawless finish, like flawless. You have no idea there's concealer on once you put this on. And I will do some makeup tutorials, but in the meantime, if you girls need a concealer brush, get this E20. It is just fabulous. Then I have the E32 Oval Concealer. This one looks like this. And I actually haven't used this one yet, so I can't say if this is like a live without or not. It's a little bit more precise. It's supposed to be a precision to really get up in the corners. So I think its purpose more is when you have something that you need to kind of wipe away, like you've messed up your eyeliner, you're doing a wing eyeliner, and then you just you put a little bit too much black there and you want to wipe a little bit away. I think that this would be absolutely amazing for like touch-ups. But I haven't used it yet. I've heard great things about it, and I wanted to have one in my collection because I don't actually have anything like it. So we will try it out in the future, and I will keep you girls posted on this one. Oh, and Morphe just released their Elite 2 collection, which is actually a permanent collection now. And the trigger is my next brush, which is just, I can't live without this one at all. And I bought bought it at like triple the price because their Elite line was sold out and it was a limited edition, and I didn't know if they were relaunching it with their new Elite 2, and they did. So lucky for you ladies, you can get it for like $14 instead of $40. And then my husband was all over the internet trying to find me a backup one so I could have a backup one, and then they were temporarily going for over $200 because this one is insane. So it is the E4, that much I know, and it is just a blush brush. And it looks like this. If you guys saw my intro video, this is the one I used to sing along to because it's my favorite. It puts the blush on so nicely when you're working it. And just a quick little tip, you don't want to do blush here. I know you're taught when you're little to smile and do the apples of your cheeks, but you can kind of look a little bit like a chipmunk or a clown when you put too much like pinks or reds, whatever blush color you like, on the apples of your cheeks. You want to angle it and put it out here, and then it works so smoothly, and it's awesome. So this E4 brush, I mean, go buy it up. You will not be sorry. It is just, oh my goodness. This is one of my can't live withouts. Then we have the M310, which is a large soft fan brush. Looks like this. This one is great when you're trying to do a really subtle highlight on your cheeks, or your décolleté, you want to do your collarbone, you want to just swoop it over your cheeks really lightly, or even if you're trying to get just a little bit of highlight right on top of your eyebrows. It's because it's so big and fluffy, you're not going to get a really precise highlight. So if you're looking for that more all over glow, this is a really great brush to have in your collection. I mean, it can go a long way with shimmers if you're trying to bronze certain areas too, but I definitely love this for highlighting. But my go-to can't live withouts have not come up yet for highlighting. Next up, we have the E34, and it is a tapered brush. This one would be if you're looking for a little bit more like hardcore on the cheekbones rather than that beautiful E4 that I showed you earlier that's got that nice angle to it. So they're both blush brushes. Those are always such a tongue twister for me. But you can see the difference, how one is tapered and the other one is just round, and it's still soft and it's wonderful. This one I like a little bit more for cleanups. So if I've contoured my forehead and I maybe went a little bit too harsh, I went too far down my forehead, or whatever it is, I kind of like to just clean up the areas, or if I need to just kind of wipe away any kind of oil or whatever for the day, that's what I like to use this one for, but it's not a can't live without brush at all. The M433 is the Pro Firm Blending Fluff. This one's a disaster. This is a can't live without eyeshadow brush, one of my two. It is just amazing. It fits in the crease of your eye so perfectly. So I will dab on the eyeshadow, working its way, and then just blend and blend and blend. Because with eyeshadows, you always want to start light and then blend and blend and blend as you're building the shades to get darker and darker. But this one just fits the eyelid so perfectly, and then the way it's just so fluffy. So the way it allows you to move the product around is amazing. And that's also the next one, which is the M441, which is the Pro Firm Blending Crease. So you can see there isn't too much of a difference between these two, but the little bit of a subtle difference in how tall this one is in comparison. Let me see, line it up there. So you can see the height difference between them. It does not want me to do that. There you go. Having that height difference allows for a little bit more of that flexibility when you are trying to blend and work its way up. So the M433 is great on the eyelid, and it's great to do a little bit more of a harsh blend, where this M441 is awesome to just like really fluff it out. Both of these are my everyday eyeshadow brushes. I couldn't live without them, like at all. I'm telling you, they're amazing. The MB5 is a Deluxe Duo Foundation. Now, I don't actually use this one for foundation. I use this one to buff on bronzer, so I think it's a really great face brush when I'm putting on my bronzer and working it all the way down my neck. And it's kind of a great if you're doing your shoulders or any kind of body. I'm so bad with my left hand. But this one is a really great. It's got that flat head on it. So even though it's technically for foundation, I don't think this would be a great foundation brush. But if you're really into using bronzers, it is awesome for bronzers. So like I said, even though some of these are titled one way, I have found different ways to use them that I think are so much better. So I wouldn't confine yourselves to the title of a brush. I would get what looks like you would like and then just try it out for yourselves, because at the end of the day, makeup is all about having fun and doing different looks. And I mean, do what you want to do. I would never use this for foundation, but it's so great for bronzing, so why not? Then the M321 is the bullet crease. So if you are looking for a really precise definition on your eyeshadow, you would use this one. I don't really do too many really like black smoky eyeshadow looks, because for me it looks really harsh on my skin tone, and with being such a fair color blonde with really fair color skin, black is super harsh. But I did get it just in case there's ever an occasion for it for me. But this one would literally be just to do in the crease. So if you're doing a hard smoke color, or if you're doing one of those burgundy looks that are absolutely beautiful, it's probably a better fall brush for those types of fall looks. But it is very precise, and it is also great when you want to add highlighter just to your little cupid's bow. So you would pucker up and you add highlighter right in there, and it just accentuates your upper lip, and it kind of gives a faux look that your lips are a little bit fuller than they are. So this one is a multi-purpose. So again, it says that it's an eyeshadow crease brush, but it is great to hit that cupid's bow with. One of these ones are my can't live without for highlighting. It is just so amazing. It is the M501, and they call it the Pro Pointed Blender. And oh my gosh, I use this every single day. So it looks like this, and this one is to get that like definition for highlighting. So like I said earlier, most people are under the impression that you want to put blush on your cupid, or on the apples of your cheek when you're smiling. But I think it's actually really beautiful to highlight a little bit right here and then drag the highlighter up. Most people just want to put the highlighter up here, but when you do that, it's only really beautiful from your profile. You can't see a highlighter straight on when you're only highlighting up here. So I've switched it up, and I do a little bit heavier blush over here. So I'll smile, and I'll just really precise put my highlighter here, and then I'll put a little bit of highlighter on the top of my eyebrows. You could also do your nose, you can do your chin. I don't like highlighting there, but this one is just fantastic for just getting it precise and then working the excess product outwards. I do have another highlight that I'm coming up to, so keep that in mind, but this one is amazing. I use it every single day. This is another absolute can't live without. I don't know how I ever did foundation without this brush. I am telling you, if you get one brush out of all of these brushes, it needs to be this one. The couple ones that I told you are can't live without, I'm telling you they're can't live without. But if you really can only do one, do this one. It will change your lives. I'm not exaggerating. It is for applying foundation. It is the M439, and it is technically the deluxe buffer. I was skeptical when I bought this. It looks like this. And you just don't technically ever see foundation brushes that look like this. They're synthetic bristles, so if you apply a little bit too much product, it will also pick it up. But I'm telling you, you blob on your, this is for creamy foundations. So if you do powdered foundations, I don't know how well this would work for you, but you just put on a couple blobs of your foundation and you just start buffing it out and blending it, and it is so smooth and flawless. And it gets in every little crease because of all the bristles. So while you're working every little space, you're getting it everywhere, and you work it down your neck, and then you can just take it right up between your eyebrows. You can work it up into your hairline, and the finished look is like this airbrush flawless. I mean, my husband has noticed a change in my makeup, and some of my local friends have too. It's just, it is so good, you guys. It is so good. Everybody needs this brush. I'm telling you, it will absolutely change your lives for how you apply foundation. And as foundation is like our basis to our whole makeup look, this is a make or break staple for any girl. So we then have the B15 Large Chisel Fluff. It looks like this, and it has a really nice fluff to it. This one is great when you're doing loose eyeshadows. I love it because it also really precisely puts it right onto your eyelid. It's not great for blending. The other ones are amazing to blend out, but when you're not trying to blend out, if you really want to get just your eyelid, this one is awesome because you just tap, tap, tap it on and it just sets it and you're good to go. So if you're somebody who just strictly does your eyelid and you move on, you're done, this one is amazing. The B13 is the Deluxe Blending Fluff. I have so many eyeshadow brushes because I do so many eyeshadow looks. Like I have matte, right down to shimmer, of course is glitter. I mean, you name it. I have so many eyeshadow brushes because I do so many eyeshadow looks. So this is another eyeshadow one, but it's fantastic because it's also soft and fluffy. This covers a large area. So if you're not looking for anything precise and you're trying to actually get a large base covered, this one's going to give you that coverage to really just get the whole area. So it just depends on what kind of looks you're going for. And as I'm always changing it up, I needed all of these brushes, but I love this eyeshadow brush too. This is the other highlighter brush I told you about that I can't live without and I also use on a daily basis. It is the M500 Deluxe Pointed Blender. So this one is really big and I will show you the comparison to the little one that I showed you earlier so you can see the difference. So the one I showed you earlier, it's really great to get the apples of your cheeks. This one is great if you want an all over highlight and it's really soft, it moves. So I like to kind of blend out the highlighter and as you can see it just moves with your face. So once I'm done with contouring and blush, I like the highlight done last because I like a little bit more intense highlight. If you want a subtle highlight, you want to do the highlight before blush, just as a little tip on the side. But this one will give you a really more natural highlight rather than a precise highlight. And then this one's also great to work your collarbones with too. So I love both of these ones because they are both for highlighting, which I am just so into, but they serve completely different purposes and they give totally different looks. So in my opinion, they're both staples to have if you're into highlighting. And I am so sorry that these are all over the place because I'm about to grab another eyeshadow brush, but I will make sure my document for you guys is at least in order. The M432 is the Flat Liner Definer, and I use this one every single day. So what I usually do is take a waterproof black eyeliner to do my waterline with on the inside, but then to soften the look, I dip this in like a loose dark chocolate powder and I tap off the excess. You want to tap off the excess with a lot of these, like the blush too. If you're using a really intense blush, you want to dip it in the blush and tap it off. All of this will be in a makeup tutorial too. And then this one you can get like right under there and then just work the eyeshadow as eyeliner into it. So you get right under your eyelashes and up into that lash line and you work it. And this just is so precise. It's amazing and I can't live without this one when it comes to smoking it out without doing a harsh smoke. So it's great. The M527 is the Deluxe Pointed Powder. Now this one I actually like just for an all over, ooh that's a mess, all over brush, blush? No, let's try. All over brush. I think we got it that time. So this one is great for, again, cleanup purposes. There's something called baking your face, which will be in a makeup tutorial, but at the end of baking, this one is really great to wipe it away. So I'll jump ahead a little bit. The M459 is the flat contour, because these ones kind of work hand in hand. So it's literally a flat contour, and you can see that white powder. And the reason for it is once you do a contour, you stamp this on, and there's a little bit left. I don't know if you can really see that. You probably can. And then you can leave that for a minute and wipe it away, or you can let that bake your face for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. And then this one just wipes it away so clean without really messing up the rest of your makeup. So the purpose to that is to help give you more of a defined contour, and then keeping the rest of it like that solid color that you had before. And then this one helps clean it up. And then it also helps clean it up if you put the contour a little bit too far down your forehead, and then you want to take just a powder that you use to set your face, which again will be in the makeup tutorial. But if you take that translucent powder that you use for setting the face, and then you just redo those areas where you put a little bit too much contour, it won't give you coverage. It'll be just enough to kind of clean up your messes and give you a little bit more precise, defined face. So those two brushes are great if you're into that contouring, highlighting, and all of that with your face. On the topic of contouring, the M523 is the tapered powder, but this is the most amazing contouring brush ever. So another little tip, when you're contouring, you want to go from the tip of the top of your ear and do a straight line all the way down, and then you want to stop at the corner of your eye, and that would be where your line is. And in the tutorial it's going to look really harsh at first, and I'll show you guys that, but you're just going to literally do a straight up and down line, and it's going to be like a dark line, but that's how you contour, is from the tip of your ear and then you stop at the corner of your eye. And this one is so precise that I could not contour without it. And then you can contour your chin if you want to down here. I mean, it depends on the shape of your face. Some people go to another level, they'll contour their nose. I don't get into that. I might for special events, I haven't, but to tie in this contour on a day-to-day basis, I just do a little bit on my forehead just to have that little extra dark color on the forehead. So those are my contouring, but that's a great tip for contour, is that you want to get right under your cheekbone, but top of the ear all the way down, stopping there. And then last is the G8, which is a tapered powder blush combo. This one I actually purchased before I found out about the amazing E4. So this one I use mainly when I'm doing more of a bronzed look. I don't like to leave my under eyes white. Some people really like that. They use that as part of the highlighting process as well. I have found that this one is amazing for cleanup under the eyes. It is so soft. It doesn't mess with your concealer, with your foundation. But if you want to dip a little bit of bronzer and then get under there, it's like it was meant to be under your eyes. It is so perfect. So I love this one. Morphe also released a premium beauty sponge, which looks like this, and it's also great for applying concealer. It has one end that's got this tapered and then one that's straight, but this one you would dab, 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 dab for your concealer. So I wanted to show you guys this because I also bought this one before I found out about the first brush I showed you guys at the beginning, which was that E20. But between the two, I mean, I get the E20. I skip the sponge. This one is so worth it when it comes to concealer, but I just wanted to point it out for you. And that covers brushes, but I did buy this absolutely amazing eyeshadow palette, so I have to show you guys it because it's so good. Like, I'm so obsessed with Morphe, and they are really reasonably priced. Like, you can get brushes from $5 to like $15 or $17, and their eyeshadows are super cheap, so it is a really affordable site. And if you guys go watch Jaclyn Hill has a certain 10% discount code for Morphe, which I'm not going to give away because that's for her because she's an affiliate with them. So you want to go subscribe to her and you can even get an additional 10% off your orders. But when you get the eyeshadow palette, I love it so much I bought two because I didn't know if it'd be limited edition. It comes in this amazing box. And then once you get into it, since I'm leaving this one box because it's my backup, the next stage is it looks like this. I know, isn't it like, oh, it's a mess actually, but it's so exciting. And this is their shimmer palette. It is the 350S-35 Color Shimmer Nature Glow Eyeshadow Palette. That is a tongue twister. And again, I'm going to link all of these. And I don't know if you can see the beauty of these shimmers, but they have all the way from your neutrals, working it down to your coppers, having those orangey tones. Don't be scared of orange. They are great colors to work with. They hit every kind of brown. They're just, it has every like little pink neutrals, coppers, I mean, wine colors. This is just amazing. It is beautiful. It works on every skin tone, every eye color. I'm so obsessed with it. I had to buy two because it's everything in one. I mean, you can't go wrong. It doesn't have your loose glitter that I love too, but as far as eyeshadows go, if you need just like one solid palette, search no more, go get this Morphe palette. They have so many too. If you're not into shimmer and you want flat, they've got this kind of palette with the neutral colors that are just like the flat colors instead. I just always want shimmer, of course, anytime. But I mean, this is all you need is this one. So go check out morphebrushes.com and I mean, go have fun shopping because I had a blast. And when these orders came in, I was like vibrating and jumping off the walls and just like so excited. And then the first day trying out these brushes, I'm like, I cannot believe the difference in how everything was applying, and it was just going on so flawlessly. I wasn't having the kind of fallout that you usually have. I wasn't having any issues or mess ups, or I mean, it's just, makeup has been so much more fun since I discovered Morphe. And I mean my whole look today, I used nothing but Morphe brushes, and I used Morphe eyeshadows aside from the coarse glitter. So it's just, they are an amazing company. So go check them out. And until the next one, that's all I got. So good night, good morning. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and I will talk to you later. Love you. Bye.